Brilliant speed with vibrant service. Vibrant broadband internet.
Well, the crew is here. I'm not sure if they're
Sane?
well. That's one word that you could use. Excited. There you go.
We are excited.
Oh, it sounds like everyone's excited and ready for the big show. A really big show that we've got here. Yeah, it's vibrant. You and you.
Lots of vibrant U's today.
Vibrant
All
U's.
three of us. So
Use guys.
yeah, thanks for having us. My name is Nathan.
I'm Jane.
And I'm Shane.
And you are.
And then
your
this-
microphone or your little switch is on there.
Oh.
Yeah, the cough switch there. Oh, it's just a little toggle switch. Yeah, so, or that
it
one
on?
could be turned up. Who knows? You know.
Can you hear me?
No. And
How about that?
one of those two is not working for you.
my
So,
gosh.
yeah, it's got to be there. It's got to be a switch on that one too. Yeah.
How
knows?
many people does it take to
Yeah,
check
yeah.
a microphone? Dee, 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 dee.
Yeah. You know. No.
No.
No?
Wow. Okay.
Flip your little microphone toggle switch there again
Is
and
that working?
see if it. No. That didn't do it. I don't know. You're gonna have to share one with Jane.
All right.
Shane and Jane show.
Oh, there you go.
Roll with the
Anyway,
punches.
once we get the bugs worked out, we'll get rolling with
I guess
the
we'll have to
kids.
do it this way, huh?
Yeah, we like to roll with the punches.
There we go.
There we go.
All right. Take it away, Nathan.
Yeah, so thanks. This is Vibrant U Live. Truly live, you know,
Truly live.
fixing
With
issues.
hiccups along the way.
Yeah, hiccups along the way for sure. So,
Yeah.
so today we're going to be talking about something that I know little about. Jane knows more than me about, and Shane is our expert today.
Oh.
Today
That's
is-
why they asked me on the show.
Yeah,
No,
Yeah.
actually, he just showed up.
Yeah.
He said, this show is all about me.
all about Shane today. So we're talking about hunting today.
What?
Yes.
For those that were living under a rock, it's hunting season is around the corner.
Well, then you're talking my language.
Oh, that sounds awesome. My language as well.
Yeah. All right.
So
But-
today we're going to go over some apps for hunting.
Good.
Technology.
Some
Because I got to
technology.
write these down because I got to use them. I'm sure.
Oh, for sure.
I can
Yeah.
just give you my paper so you can,
Oh, there you go.
you can have my paper.
Yeah. Okay.
And what's awesome is this deer hunting starts this weekend, right? And I happen to hunt up north. There's a lot of people, friends of mine, that hunt here.
What's the
There-
exact location that you like to hunt in so that people can see your
Lat
spot?
long.
Yeah.
We want lat
so,
long.
So you want the lat long, right? There's an app for that.
Yeah.
The lat long, folks. That is not really all that high tech. I even know what the lat long is.
Right, right. So I do hunt up by Black Duck, Minnesota, north of Bemidji. And that's the area that I guess I've hunted there for decades, right?
Right.
But I've hunted down here, around here as well. But you know, when I was growing up, hunting, sitting out in the deer stand, I would get bored. I mean, there's a lot of times I'd just be kicking leaves over. I'd pick up leaves and play with them, and and you just sit out there and you're bored, and it's like I don't see anything. But you don't want to leave the stand because that's the time you're going to
The
see
second
something.
you
right?
leave, they'll
Exactly.
walk right
Yep.
by.
Next door is going to get that big buck.
Yep,
Yeah. Exactly. Yep. Yep.
And but nowadays, I mean, technology, it helps you guide you to the hunt. It guides you to maybe where the deer are active and things like that. So we're going to go over just a few of the apps and the stuff that I use that helps me cure my deer hunting and cure some boredom out in the stand.
The solitaire one would be the first one.
Well, if that's your chosen one, you could start there, I suppose.
Okay.
So there is that. But the first app I want to talk about is called Deercast. And it's by Drury Outdoors, Drury Outdoors. And it's called Deercast. You can download it on your phone. And what that gives you is it gives you some daily times of when the deer are most likely to be active.
Oh, okay.
And the free version gives you 1 day ahead. You can get a paid-for version that'll give you, 3 to 5 days ahead, or up to 14 days ahead. And the cool thing about that is that, let's say you're, where I hunt, you can hunt during the week, and let's say it's Wednesday, and it's like, do I want to get up at 5 a.m.? Do I need to get up at 5 a.m. to be out there when the deer are active? Well, the app will tell you, well, they're going to be more active at noon. And so you get to sleep in that day, and then you can maybe get out to your stand later in the morning.
Better than going in blind. I mean, any tips you can get.
Any tips you can get, right? It's also got a social media aspect to it. So, like on their feed, you can upload a photo or a video of your deer and then a little story about it. So that's kind of cool. So that's called DeerCast. Another one I like to use is called Onyx. O-N-X.
Oh, yeah, Onyx Hunt. Yep.
And that's really popular. I think a lot of people know about that
Right.
one.
I know my father-in-law got a bunch of cameras out on his property. He actually lives in Iowa, but
Okay.
he's a big hunter. But he uses Onyx because it integrates with his trail cams that are connected cellular. So he can put up cameras. They have a cellular signal to them, so they upload motion pictures. So he knows well before he goes out on his land. Okay, I haven't been seeing any deer lately, or yes, there's one or two big bucks that are walking around. So it really gives him a leg up on what to expect.
Exactly.
And the other, so I was just walking around the office wondering, I think in order to be an employee at Meeker Cooperative, you have to hunt and fish. I mean, it's just,
Somehow they let me through the cracks for the most
right?
part. Yeah.
But I think they actually asked that question during the interview process. But anyway, I was asking everybody, are you familiar? Do you use any apps while you're hunting? And Onyx was the most popular chosen. So
Yeah.
I think so.
And that trail cam feature is new. I mean, that's something they just integrated.
Okay.
But what it is, it's mostly a mapping app, and it allows you to track and put waypoints down. It's kind of like a GPS. Uses the GPS on your phone. But it also, what's cool about it is it shows you boundaries of private property and public property.
Okay.
It shows you, like, where we hunt. We are in a state forest area, but we're surrounded by the Chippewa National Forest.
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, they'll show you boundaries where the black duck forest is. But then there's a lot of private property around where we hunt as well. And you don't want to be trespassing.
Yeah.
So this app gives you where those boundaries are, along with the names of the people in case you want to go talk to them and maybe ask them permission.
Sure.
So you're referencing like you shoot your deer and now you're tracking it and you have to ask permission for the landowner if you can track that deer on the property. Is that correct?
So you can track a deer on private property as long as you leave your firearm behind.
Okay.
And you're tracking a deer, and then you can retrieve it, pull it back over to the public land, and then take care of it from there.
And some of that would maybe be including doing homework so if it goes over there.
Exactly.
Before you get, well, we kind of got this line over here where there's a fence line or,
Exactly,
a birch line or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah. You don't want to set up in a tree that you're not sure of what property you're on because
Right.
get in trouble if
Exactly.
you're on private land. Yep.
Yeah.
So Onyx is an app I use all the time. I use that while I'm hunting. The other cool thing about the Onyx app is that you can have it in your pocket, and if you have a smartwatch, like say an Apple Watch, you can use your watch to mark a waypoint.
Oh,
And
yeah,
to,
I
and
bet
to,
you.
yeah, and to navigate. So it's just a really cool app that way. Another app that I'm not familiar with, but one that kind of maybe combines the two, is called HuntWise. HuntWise.
I've heard that one, yeah.
And that does a lot of, it's focused on deer hunting, but it adds mapping capabilities, but also does there's a lot of articles about deer hunting in there. It's kind of like if you take DeerCast and Onyx and combine them.
Okay.
All these apps have a free version that give you limited access.
With commercials.
Well, yeah, with ads.
Ads,
There's
yep.
some ads and things like that. But
Someone's got to pay for it.
Yeah, that's right.
they have some paid for versions. Like Onyx, I do pay a yearly fee for the one state version. Minnesota is the maps I get. And there's a nationwide version and that kind of thing. DeerCast, I just use the free one. I just look a day ahead.
Right.
That kind of thing.
So we had an employee meeting today, and our general manager asked the question about why is hunting season start so late this year? And Shane kind of answered this question, so I thought it was I learned something, so go ahead.
Yeah, usually deer hunting starts 3 weeks before Thanksgiving. So like Thanksgiving is late this year, like the last week in November, so it goes back 3 weeks.
Right.
And that's when deer hunting starts, or the opening weekend starts.
So that is correct, but they always also say that there has to be a Wednesday in the month before the weekend. In other words, you wouldn't have it ever be after if the 1st of November was a Thursday. If the 1st of November was a Wednesday, that would be that
Interesting.
weekend.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, it is a a weird scale.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's us hunters. We're weird.
Yeah, exactly. So the other thing is, one of my brother had, his wife was expecting, and he was sitting out in a deer stand, and we're
Oh,
like,
boy.
why? And he's the most avid hunter in my world, and so it's like he hunts Wisconsin, Minnesota, bow, rifle, hunting, fishing. He lives the dream of every hunter.
Yeah.
And so he's sitting in the stand, and he's like, I better shoot a buck. So off he goes, and not kidding, my nephew was born that day, so it was
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
awesome. So there's some fun stuff that happens. I got married opening goose, and he was so livid at me because, what are you doing? I'm like, well, you're walking me down the aisle, so I don't care what's happening.
Yeah.
You're showing up. And Shane,
I got married the second weekend of deer hunting, and my friends still don't let me hear the end of it.
Yeah, no kidding. You got to quit that.
Yeah, so I mean, it's fun. I like the fall. Now, another app, now you kind of mentioned solitaire, but here's an app that I always use on my phone out in the deer stand, and it's my Hulu with live TV. Because I don't want to miss the Vikings game just because I'm out deer hunting in the stand.
I don't want to miss the Gophers game
Yep.
because I'm out deer hunting in the stand.
Exactly.
Yep.
And maybe like this year, so on Sunday there's a game in Germany, NFL game in Germany.
Get the
And
early one.
I know, and the poor Germans, they have to watch the New York Giants versus Carolina Panthers. So I mean,
Two of the worst teams.
I
in the league.
know.
Boring.
But if you have a fantasy team and you want to kind of see how your players are doing, it's
Yeah.
kind of fun to have
speaking
that.
of solitaire,
Yes. Yeah.
you could play solitaire.
Yeah,
down
I
there.
Yeah. Yep. That's when you'd play your solitaire right
Exactly.
there.
But yeah, no. As long as you have an internet connection on your mobile device, you can watch virtually any of your streaming services.
Oh, absolutely.
Right from your phone. Pop in a headphone. Maybe don't put two headphones in so you're aware of your surroundings and you're aware of animals around you. But
Exactly. That's just it. Put one headphone or earbud in, and make sure you can kind of hear what's going on that way. Your phone's not going to be making noise. I mean,
Right.
it's still silent out in the woods.
And growing up, we lived, ate and breathed hunting and whatnot. And in fact, my birthday is May 15th, and if you're a fisherman or woman,
Oh, yeah.
you're going to know it's opener
Yeah.
for fishing. And so can't beat them, join them. So I was out getting my line wet.
Yep, for sure.
And I think it's interesting and important too. We live in rural Minnesota, central Minnesota, and my girls, typically that girl, I don't want to hunt or I don't want to fish or whatever, but they both approached me at one point and they wanted to get their firearms certification. So I think that's really important, and to learn about the value and the safety of a weapon and how to operate it. And so I was
Exactly.
really proud of that moment. And
yeah, I know a lot more ladies in my life that are interested in hunting, and that's not more just a guy thing like it probably was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Now it's certainly involving a lot more people.
Certification is done a lot of times online now.
Yeah,
Oh, sure.
Or the
Exactly.
12-year-olds. I guess you
Yep.
got to be 12 now.
You do all your studying on there, and you can take your
Right.
tests and stuff on there.
and they fill up fast.
The
Absolutely.
last app I want to talk about that I use all the time is my Notes app. And so I use my Notes app, and I make lists, like packing lists.
Oh, you're too organized.
I know.
Yeah, he is very organized.
And
Quit
well,
it.
I tell you what, I've forgotten things and then had to go buy things
Oh,
while
yeah.
hunting, and it's like, what I'm going to use? I've already got one of these at home.
Yeah.
Right. So I do that, and I also keep track of like the food I eat that year, right? Because then
Really?
I do, because next year it's like, why did I pack 6 steaks? I'm only eating 1, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So it's one of those things. But I use my Notes app all the time, and that's another important app I think that you could use for hunting.
Yeah, technology is great for hunting, but I found out that you can't utilize all technology. There's some stuff you are not allowed to do, especially in Minnesota, like
You shouldn't be texting
calls.
each other.
Yep.
That's right.
You're party hunting.
It is illegal to use electronics to aid you in getting a deer, and that includes there's apps that do deer calls.
Right.
So you can't use electronic deer calls. You cannot use radios or handheld radios to call other people. You can call for help.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a deer. Can you come help me drag it out? That kind of thing. But you cannot text somebody and say, hey, there's something coming towards you. That's not
Yeah.
legal.
Yeah.
So be mindful of that. But
Yeah, I had no idea. I never would have thought twice about
I didn't
that.
think about that either.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Interesting.
My brother has. I've called him and he answers the phone. Hello. And I'm like,
Are you in a deer stand
are you
somewhere?
hunting? Yeah. All right. Call me later. Love you. Bye.
Right, exactly. Yep.
So
That's
if
happened.
you're not gonna actually shoot a deer and you're still a gamer, there's some fun things and fun apps that you can actually do. So Nathan,
Yeah, I've never. Well, that's not true. I went hunting with my father-in-law once. We turkey hunted. We mostly just sat in a blind and played cards, which was fun. But I played a lot of hunting games. You know, when I was a little kid, Nintendo was a kind of a brand new thing. I might be dating myself a little bit, but and then there was the original duck hunt game where you have this little handheld gun.
Yeah, I
and
remember that.
The ducks would fly up in the air, and then you'd shoot it, and the little dog would go get it. I loved playing that game as a kid. And then now you go to a lot of bar and grills, you'll see big duck hunter or big buck hunter.
Yep.
Yep, and you can play those. Those are always fun to play. And there's a lot of mobile games on your phone where you can do, hunting games and stuff like that. So it can be pretty fun to do that, even if you're not, a hunter in real life. You can at least pretend to be.
Yeah, and you'll never be bored in a deer stand again.
There you go.
and
That's
so what do
it
you
takes.
do when you get a deer? Where is that gonna go?
Yeah, there's a couple local businesses, obviously that would take care of either if you're looking to bring your meat or purchase meat. Locally here we got Carlson Meat over in Grove City. They're pretty popular. You got Schrupp's Meat up in Paynesville, French Lake Butcher Shop in French Lake, you guessed it. So yeah, there's a lot of great, and there's others as well, but there's a lot of great places to bring your meat. Maybe like Shane has said earlier, call ahead because they can be pretty busy as well.
Right.
But they'll
and
help.
some don't take venison too. That's
sure.
why you want to call ahead.
Yeah.
Just
Absolutely.
because they're a meat shop doesn't mean they take venison. So.
Yep.
True.
Yeah.
So yeah, bring your meat, get it processed and stuff like that. Or if you're looking to buy meat, those are great spots as well. So maybe you're not hunting, but you'd like to take part in the food part of it. So
Yeah.
Now, before you guys do any wrapping up, I want to find out who is, by the way, rated the best internet service in Meeker County.
Well,
Since
Vibrant-
it's all about you, Shane, you can
Vibrant
take it.
broadband. Yes, and we want to thank everyone for choosing us as the best.
back to back.
Back to back. This is
Back to
actually
back to back.
third year in a row. Yes. So thank you.
Three-peat.
It's a three-peat.
It's
Yeah.
a three-peat.
All right,
Oh
congratulations,
yeah,
guys.
huge thank you to the community
Yes.
for honoring us in that way. We take it seriously. We're a local company, and we are out in public, and we know a lot of people locally. So it means a lot to us that to get voted on by the people and win that award. So it's great. Yeah, the number one internet provider in the Meeker County area. So.
So if you missed any of this, catch our replay on Facebook or our YouTube channel. Just search for Vibrant Broadband. Listen live every Wednesday to us. We're here at 10:30 visiting Woody. And then if you have any questions, certainly give us a call. We're at 693-3231. Or you can go to visitbroadband.com. So thanks again for having us, Woody.
You
Thanks
bet.
for listening, and we'll see you guys
Yeah,
next
stay
week.
safe out there.
Yes.
Yes.
Hunting, take
Wear your
safety
orange.
serious. Wear
Yep.
your orange.
Yes.
Be secure when you're climbing up into your stand, stuff like that. So,
I'm Jane.
I'm
Nathan.
and I'm Shane.
Next week.
Thanks,
Another
boys and girls.
Broadband internet, vibrant broadband internet.